There you go. See,
all in there.
Okay, welcome. This is the Crafty Duck, and this is our first podcast, or our first vlog, or blog, or video recording, whichever you prefer. This will become a regular occurrence at the Crafty Duck. And today I'm going to be talking to Dean. You can see Dean just about in the camera. Dean is known as Dean the Dead. He's on YouTube, he's on all the social, and in front of him he has his hot sauces. So we're going to talk to Dean about sauces, horror, beer, and all things in between today. So let's have a look at what Dean's ugly mug looks like. There he is. Good morning, Dean. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Everyone's like, no, put it back down again. Put it back down again. I'm sorry, you're going to have to look at my berry face. There we go. Good morning. Good morning, James. How's it going?
That's good. Yeah,
Cheers,
good.
man.
Like I said, it's exciting to be doing our first video podcast vlog. I'm not sure what we really call them. Not quite a stream, but we're going to pop it on all sorts of social very soon.
Yeah, I wonder what we'll call them after a few of these vlogs.
So yes, I was doing whiskey tasting yesterday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and today, just to give us a bit of Dutch courage, we've started a bit earlier. But yeah, we'll get through. And like I said, so what we're going to do is we're just going to have a talk with Dean. We said Dean of the Dead is Dean's YouTube and social handle. And Dean does a lot of sauces, hot sauces, and they're all horror related. So we're going to talk through those. I thought I brought some spoons up, but I forgot. So we could possibly try a couple and blow my head off and see how good they are.
I know which one I'd give you first, Jack.
Okay, well, you started nicely, yeah? No. So yeah, just welcome, Dean. And just when and how did you get started with the hot sauces? What made you think, a bit like me, why did I start a craft beer shop? Why did you think that hot sauces were the place to go, and how long have you been doing it, and how's it going?
So I started off, I went to, a friend of mine told me about a chili festival that happens quite close to here in Bennington.
Been going quite well, yeah. Been going quite a few years now.
It's been going for years, yeah. So this, I went to, the first time I went to it was probably like 4 years ago. And I'd always been into like my hot sauces. I'd always been into spicy, but literally since I was a kid, I've always been into anything ridiculously spicy. So a friend of mine I was living with at the time, he was like, you have to go to this chili festival in Bennington. Like, it's local, it's really good fun. They have like some live music, they have some comedians.
Yeah, there's an episode of the Hairy Bikers where they're there.
Wow, okay.
And there's they do a little video at of the Bennington Chili Festival.
Yeah.
And there's a chili eating competition.
That is brilliant.
And the two guys in the final,
so much fun.
The two guys in the final were ex-customers of mine from a pub in Stevenage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right. There was one year we were there, and a wasp, the guy that was presenting it, a wasp flew in his mouth. So his mouth was stinging more than the people that were eating the chilies. So
like Homer Simpson when he drinks the wax.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And he starts tripping. Is that episode? That is that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eat, that's right. Yeah,
because he eats
the
someone's chili and he screams like a girl and they'll make fun of him.
Brilliant. So my friend told me about that. I'd never even heard of it. So I went along, and it was like a chili wonderland. And I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the event. I really enjoyed. It was rammed. I think it went on for about 3 days.
Yeah.
We went back the second day.
It's August time.
August bank holiday. Yeah. So I went for the first day, and I loved it so much. I went back again the day after, and I kept sort of bumping into, because it's fairly local to. I was living in Enfield at the time. Now I'm in Hertfordshire, so it's even closer now. I was bumping into a lot of people that I knew, saying you could grab beer there. There's some chili beer, which I know you're not a fan of, James. You're not a chili beer fan.
There's a time and a place for it. Never.
So yeah, it was a really, really good weekend. Anyway, I came away from that, and I was totally inspired. I was inspired by all the different producers that were there. I loved, I picked up loads of swag. I loved all the label art. It's pretty much just, like craft beer as well. It's just not just about the beer. It's about the creativeness that goes behind it, and the labels and just everything. I mean, it's mainly about the beer. Let's be fair. But so yeah, I came away and I was just like, I'd really like to give something like that a go. I don't know why. Just I thought I'd see, where it ends up. And I had the name Jeepers Reapers, which is now this bad boy.
Is that the worst of the lot?
Jeepers Reapers. No, that's not the worst one.
Okay.
That's not the worst one. No, there's a step up from that one. So that was kind of, that name came to me. because of the Carolina Reaper pepper, and then I was like, oh, you know, it's a horror film as well. So then this kind of light bulb, I had a light bulb moment that went off to basically, because I'm a massive horror fan.
Yeah, so that was going to be my other question is hot sauce. Yeah, I get that, but where's the horror come from? So
yeah, so I'm a huge horror fan. Anyone that knows me knows that I literally live, eat, sleep, drink, breathe horror. You know, anything to do with horror. It's just I drive people mad with it. So I was looking for a way to kind of, I was looking for like my creative angle with the sauces to see where I could fit in. And boy, when I struck upon the horror thing, it's just become like a world of opportunity. Like there's so many things you can do with it. So originally I had the Jeepers Reapers name, and I was like, right, I need to think of some more. Between me and a bunch of friends, we just kind of come up with loads of different ones. And now
sauce.
And now there's seven.
Sauce is just superb.
Yeah, now there's 7.
I mean, I couldn't tell you what film it's from, but it's a great name.
So yeah, shall I go through them? Shall I go through?
Yeah, definitely. I've just been showing a couple of them.
But that basically, just touching back on that, that's how I got into the sauce business. I literally just had.
So you went to a chili festival, kind of went, yeah.
Just thought I want to give that a go.
Which is kind of how I came about the Crafty Duck, to be honest. I mean, I've worked in pubs for far too long as I'd like to mention, but yeah, we kind of. So where we are, we live in Hertford. Me and Dean live in Ware, which is the next town along, and Dean lives a little bit further than me.
Yeah.
But London's on our doorstep, and craft beer is kind of there, and it was always difficult to get a beer around here. So this is kind of my light bulb moment was like, why open a normal pub when I can open something like this? There must be people who want it. And yeah, thankfully, and that's how I met Dean. So.
Yeah, and we definitely do want it. So it's great. This is our hangout now. We love it. So it's great.
Yes, go through the sauces. Give us a shout. We don't have to try them all because it looks like you're going to terrify me with the one right at the end.
Yeah. So basically that was. So I put the horror theme. I put my passion for horror, my passion for hot sauce. Put the two together.
So were you a cook, a chef of any kind before? Was it something you made before?
No one's actually ever asked me that, and no. Not at all. Not at all. I am a good cook. I love cooking. I come from Italian background, so I guess maybe it's just in the blood. I don't know, but I love cooking. I've always loved cooking spicy dishes in particular, and I just think cooking's an art in itself. Being creative in the kitchen, I just love being creative. Whether it's cooking, whether it's creating something, music. I'm a musician as well, so anything that's creative, basically, I just love.
So
cooking. Including
you went to a chili festival.
Yeah.
Had your light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Where did you go next? Where did you think I want to make this sauce with this flavour, or was it just a lot of Googling, or a lot of YouTubing?
So basically, I came home and I thought, right, So I got myself a book. This is a new book because the other one I filled up the max.
You'll know it's got chilies on the front of it.
Yeah, it's a nice little pink.
Mine's just a boring black book I get from the bit Smiths.
I've nearly maxed this one out as well. This is the ideas book. I just carry this around with me, not all the time, most of the time, with a pen, and I just make notes in it, and it's just like, it really helps me not to forget stuff. I literally came home. I had the idea. Before I started actually making any sauce itself, I started brainstorming names. Our good friend Stu, he helped me with a few, which is, he's brilliant at stuff.
He is, yeah.
He literally is.
If you need names or titles for stuff,
go to Stu.
Give him 30 minutes and he'll come back and he'll go, wow, I took days to even think of that.
Well, exactly, yeah. So sometimes I message him and go, Stu, I need a name for this, and he'll come back with about 10, and I'm like, where did you? Brilliant. So yeah, big shout out to Stu. So I was coming up with the names first, and I was like, right, okay, so maybe I'm, better learn how to make some sauce. So I kind of went online, I looked at a load of different recipes, and it's almost like being a laboratory. So, I was kind of, you've got different chilies you can use, different heat levels. So you've got like your jalapenos, Scotch bonnets, habaneros, ones that you can pick up easily from anywhere, basically. But then you've got your more exotic ones like your Carolina Reapers and your ghost chilies and stuff like that. You have to order in, a bit more expensive. So when they kind of go up in heat scale, they go up in price order as well. Same as a beer, it's like a 4.5%.
So
is going to be cheaper
would this one
12%.
have, say for example, 10 jalapenos in? This is the sauce. It's jalapeno and apple.
Yeah.
So would that, for example, need 10 jalapenos where the ones at the end would only need 1 or 2 Scotch bonnets?
No,
does it not work like that way?
Not really. No, I have kind of my weights. When it comes to the math side of things, I'm not that great, but I've kind of got my quantities over time, just kind of knowing what works and flavors and heat levels and stuff. I haven't sent them off to be lab tested, so I don't know the Scoville heat units or anything like that.
But you've got a little heat thing on the side, according
according
to the mind of Dean.
I just kind of rate them by how much they make me go ah. So that one's just like a ah.
So this one is jalapeno with apples. Even with glasses on, I can't read what it says, Dean. It's alive. It's alive. Okay, so this is nice.
So yeah, that's the chiller meter.
Chilometer, I love it.
So this one, the Exorcist, this one is 6 chilies. That's 6 chilies because it made me go ah. It made me scream a bit more. Than
the power of chili completes you.
The power of chili compels you. So basically, which is from the Exorcist, the power was saying the power of Christ compels you, the priest. But this is the power of chili compels you.
Absolutely brilliant. So
they're basically lines that are taken from films. So I've tried to keep it all like the film. So the whole idea when I put together, like, I wanted it to be a horror movie in a hot sauce format. It's totally bonkers, but it just works.
No, we were just chatting just off camera before we came on about so I'll nick Dean's can. So Dean's on Shea Guava Guarara from Brew York. So Brew York again go very, very close to the wind with their names, but they've got other ones called the Army of Dankness,
Juice Campbell,
So but even the kind of imagery on them we're talking about really, really, really close to what it is. I mean, this is we know which movie that's based on, but we've got Dean's logo. We don't have
it's such a grey area.
What's his name?
Who
out of the film I won't mention?
Source. Which one? The main guy?
Yeah. Jigsaw. That's
Jigsaw.
It. So Dean's just got. The puppet, so you've just got the name, but these are. I showed one to Dean earlier called the Mandalorian.
It's got bobbers on it. Yeah, it's almost a picture of Bobber, isn't it?
It is almost.
Or let's just say Juice Campbell has got the image. And
it's got him stood on the front with his weapons of choice.
Chainsaw and his what other ones have you got from Brew York? There was one that they've released. There's a limit.
They did the Goonies one, didn't they?
Yeah, and they got the Baby Ruth on there, and there is there was a
Hey You Giles.
Hey You Giles. There was one that Stuart actually sent me the other day, and it was a link to like a box set that they'd done of 4 horror themed beers. And they look amazing, literally right out my street. And Brew York, if you ever want to do a collaboration, I think we'd get on really. I think it would fit like a glove. There's a guy called Tubby Tom. He's another hot sauce producer, and he does my favourite sauces ever. He's awesome. He's based up in Gloucestershire, and he does a collaboration with Daya.
Okay, wow, one of our favourites.
So it's Steady Rolling Man. He uses.
Was that your excuse to go to Daya the other week?
It will, yeah. So I was killing 2. I wanted to go and stock up on some Tubby Tom's hot sauces and swag, and Dale was just so happened to be around the corner, so it was just like, whilst we're up here, might as well.
It makes perfect sense.
So he made a sauce with them called Day of the Dead, which I thought was genius, and again, it's really close to kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they just ply him with cans of Steady Rolling Man. Well, I'm sure he doesn't put them all in the sauces. I'm sure he's like, yeah, they're all going into the sauces for the collaboration. No, I'm not drinking any of them.
You've got to try one, obviously, for a product checking.
Just to check, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'd love to do that with Brew York because I love Brew York. I really do. I love everything that they do. I love This Is Amazing.
So Dean did a YouTube video when he was doing them a few months ago. So Dean would do a hot sauce. He'd try a hot sauce at the front. He'd try beer and he'd talk about a movie.
Yeah.
And he had the Hey You Giles. It's about a 10% peanut butter stout. And he drank it in 2 sips. Dean sips like me, so 2 sips or gulps if you like. And I watched it, was like, who does that? It's like, well, yeah, I do sometimes. But it was wow, that was.
Yeah, that was. But it was because it was so nice. It was literally.
It doesn't feel 10%.
It was like taking a load of baby.
It's like this one. It's like this one. This is
6.5. 6
guava pastry sour, and I think your words were it tastes like umbongo.
Tastes like umbongo.
I mean, that's
I could give that to
dangerous but tasty.
I could give that to my kid. I mean, I won't. Back at home, I'll only give that a go. He literally wouldn't be able to tell that was beer. Oh, hello. Anyway, yes. So, should I run through the names?
Yeah, go for it.
Just quickly.
Maybe crack one open.
Yeah. Okay. So
Be gentle with me first.
Okay.
I like hot sauce, so
Yeah.
I generally put sriracha on everything.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I've got. So I'll open these two. These are two completely different ends of the heat scale, two completely different flavors as well, and they're also the two that I've entered to the Great Tasting Award.
Oh wow! So we've got awards as well.
Well, no, I haven't won anything yet. I know that this is the first year
in the running, mate. In the running.
This is the first year.
So we've got.
I've entered it. So
I've already put the glass on.
This is the first year I've entered it. So
this is a Texas.
The Texas
Chain Sauce Massacre.
There you go.
Beautiful. And this one is chipotle peppers with cherries. Oh, that sounds lovely.
That's it. So it's like a barbecue sauce. It's like a spicy barbecue.
Well, I'm doing a barbecue sauce. Soon, so. And where can we buy these sauces, Dean, if we wanted to purchase them?
You can pick them up online. I've got a website. It's www.deanofthedead.com. Easy to remember.
I'll put a link in wherever we share this. I'll put a link down the bottom for you.
If you can remember the name Dean of the Dead, you just type that in Google, and I'm the only one out there at the minute. It's cool. So yeah, the website will come straight up. So do you want a spoon?
I got some spoons earlier, but I don't think I brought them up.
You capped it, or anyway, that's fine. However we do it. This one, yes, so cherry and chipotle. You've got some habaneros in there. There's some chipotle chilies in there, obviously, and then a mixture of like spices and various other things. But it's a barbecue.
On a piece of meat on a barbecue would be absolutely out of this world. Nice little bit of heat to the end, but not anything silly. Dean's give it 2 out of whatever. So 2 is the next scream you hear.
Might be James's.
No, that's pretty fantastic. Well, I will now have to take it home and barbecue something with that. So there's one Dean's lost.
And so this is the Exorcist. So this is the one. I've got some friends. They do a show called the Pumpkin Podcast, and they asked me if I'd sponsor it. And they at the end of it, they haven't done one obviously during lockdown because they couldn't have guests come in, but they had people come in and sit at the table with them, and they had a spinny wheel that they ordered, and they called it the Wheelie Hot Challenge. So they get guests come in, and they were like a scare attraction based podcast. So they'd have guests come in, sit down, and they'd talk about scare attractions and all that kind of stuff, and then they'd pull up the wheel, and then they'd get these bad boys out, and then they'd sort of ask them like a quick fire round questions, and then they'd have to do I think it was like they had a bowl of dips and chips basically, and this is the one that used to just F them up all the time. And the host Callum used to get a major stiffy every time this one came up. So, but you know what? I don't know. It's what I always find, like if you was to just try like a tiny little capful, you might not get the full burst of the heat. Sometimes you have to get right deep into the bottle before you really get it. Because there's a lot.
Right, if I leave you talking, I'm going to get some spoons.
Go and grab some spoons. I'll run through the whole range whilst you're doing that. And there is basically you're right there?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
There is so they're all made with fresh fruit, which is where I wanted to kind of be slightly different to everyone else. They're all made with fresh fruit. So this sauce is apple and jalapeno. You've got the one that James just tried, which is the Texas Chain Sauce Massacre. So that's got fresh cherries in it. There's cherries and there's chipotle and there's some habaneros. The next one up,
you could definitely taste the cherries. It's got a sweetness to it, but with a bit of heat as well.
So they're all sweet. Naga on Elm Street, which is peach, mango, and pineapple, and Naga chili. You've got the American Werewolf in London, which is it's like tropical fruit cocktail with some cayenne peppers. That's my favourite name, the American Werewolf in London. I thought that was a stroke of genius. You've got Paris Scoville activity. So obviously the Scoville scale is like where our heat's measured on the Scoville scale. And that's blueberry and ghost chili, which I also thought was quite cool because it's all about a supernatural film. If you've seen it, Paranormal Activity is based on Paris Scoville activity with the ghost chili. See what I did there?
My wife used to love horror films, and I think that film put her off ever watching them or putting her foot out of the bed again. I've also got into conventions. I do conventions. That was another reason why I thought the horror thing worked really well, because it also allows me to trade at conventions and not just food, like chili festivals and I'm doing a BBC Good Food Show, stuff like that. So I've got the option to trade at the two, which. And if you go and look at your Facebook, I think it's your Facebook page. There's some photos of you and some extremely famous people.
I've got like Freddie, the guy that plays Freddy Krueger, Robert England, holding a bottle of the sauce and pulling his Freddy face. It's brilliant. I've got the guy Jigsaw himself holding a bottle of this, and I'm waiting back for a picture at the minute of the 2 people from Paranormal Activity. I've sent them a couple of bottles out, and they know that they're receiving them, and I'm going to get a couple of pictures back from them. It just all adds to the.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about the was it the twins from The Shining?
Yes,
live around the corner from us. Basically.
One of them lives in Enfield. yeah, actually. I was still living in Enfield at the time, and I think we got in. No, so I got chatting to her. She was just at LFCC, London Film and Comic Con, and it was quite a sort of. I'd already met them already, but I went back up because I was dropping them off some sources because they did me a little video. and they're so lovely, and they're tiny. They're literally tiny. And when I got back to the table, a friend of mine, CJ, he was there chatting to them, and he's like, "Dean, come over here." He goes, I think it's Louise. He's from Enfield. Like, I was like, "No way." Got chatting to her, and she was like, "Yeah, the reason we were late this morning because we were getting the overground train from Gordon Hill." I was like, "What?" And then actually it turned out that she lived in the flats over the I don't know the name of it, but it's near Holswhite Hill. I've given away where she lives.
It was 26 with a brown door.
She wrote bloody Jack Nicholson, man. Do you know what I mean? Stanley Kubrick, and she lives just off of Holswhite Hill. It's insane. And
you could probably walk past her and realise who she was.
Exactly. Well, so she lives above my friend Lee and Shannon. And because they saw me post it on Facebook, and they contacted me going, "Why have you put a picture of our neighbour?" I said, "Your neighbour is a legend." Like, and they literally had no idea, and they were just like, "Louise is lovely. She's so lovely." And I was saying, because she'd recently been at a Comic-Con in Germany, and there's pictures of her like hugging Charlie Sheen, and I sent them my friend Lee these pictures. He's like, "You're blowing my mind." It's like, what is going on? So anyway, yeah. But anyway, so just getting back to the sauces, they're all. Because they're made with fresh fruit, and the sugars from the fruit neutralizes the chili sometimes, so that's why they're not super hot. And I always get a lot of good comments.
Still got nice heat though.
It's still a good heat, yeah, definitely. So this one, I know it's got 6 chilies on it, but it might not absolutely. I think it's got. I don't know.
I've seen videos on YouTube of people trying your sauces. There was I think we your friends. There was people know there was a lady and a bloke. I think they're married, and they had a couple, and he was a bit. And they had the hot one in it. Yeah, they were
right. Yeah. Oh, yes.
The next screen you heard was theirs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just had the Texas Change Sauce Massacre. 2 chilies, really sweet in a really good way. Like I said, Dean said, it's if Dean didn't say barbecue, you'd have that and you go, that needs to be like marinating a piece of pork overnight and then going on a burning hot grill, because that's fantastic. Nice bit of heat at the end, still there now. But not stupid heat. Like I said, I like sriracha, so this is probably quite similar. Sriracha is not massively hot. I'm not a big fan of Tabasco, but yeah, I like a hot sauce. Which one are we going for next?
It goes.
Which one am I going to blow my head off with? The 6.
This is the this is the Exorcist, and this one is pear, pineapple.
I've got another lager left just in case you put it out.
And you've got a bit. It's a bit of a chili cocktail. So you've got a bit of Carolina Reaper, you've got a bit of ghost pepper, you've got some habaneros.
So it's basically lilt with a load of chili in it.
Kind of, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It's got that totally tropical head explosion taste.
Oh, brilliant! Here we go.
No, I think you'll be all right. I think you'll be okay. All right.
I don't want you to pour the whole spoon.
If you're going to do it, James, you've got to do it
properly. Yeah, I suppose there is that point. Oh, it's not coming out. You took it. It just keeps going.
There we go.
I think that's more than enough. If we could see that.
And with this, so you get the fruit and you'll get everything else first before you get the heat.
Yeah,
the heat will creep up, but it's not, honestly, it's not too intense. I always try to focus more on the flavors than I do with
really sweet,
the actual heat.
Really pineapple-y.
Myself, actually. The heat kind of creeps up.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not insane. I don't. The thing is, like, sometimes people, there are really sadistic people out there, and I do love.
I mean, my brother-in-law would be on the floor rolling around crying. No.
Yeah, man.
I think because I'd had one before and it got me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I just got sweetness from that. Sweetness of fruit. That's really. Oh, it's just fantastic, isn't it?
Works well. It's definitely got a kick to it. That's the thing. So conventions or. In fact, I haven't done any food markets yet. I've done one farmer's market in 40 Hill. It creeps up. My face is getting redder. And then
I thought it was going to hit me hard, but it's
yeah. Maybe you need some more.
No, I don't.
Maybe you need a bigger spoonful.
What I need is a big pile of steaming hot meat, mate, to stick it on.
It's so funny because some people, well, there you go, maybe take that home with you and you can whack them on whatever you like.
See,
We'll
my
keep it for the minute, but...
8-year-old would eat that.
Yeah.
We've trained her quite well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. See,
I don't think I'd push it. The heat's coming now.
Yeah, it's a creeper. That's
wow, that is coming now.
It creeps up in it. So the sugar.
So that hit you quite quickly.
Yeah.
I think I had a pre-warm up.
Yeah, possibly. Everyone's palate is different.
My tongue's not numb, but it's. I can feel it creeping up my tongue. Not too hot. I mean, it probably put a lot of people off, but that is. It just started off pineapple-y and fruity and soft and 6 chilies. Dean, you're having a laugh, and now it's like, ooh, yeah, we're going up. Probably on 3 or 4 chilies about now.
I'll be interested to
know. So what's the hottest one? Not that I want to try it.
That was the hottest one.
Oh, that's the hottest one. What's the one next to it?
Joe. You've done it. You've smashed it.
So what's the one right at the end?
This is the new collaboration one.
Okay.
I've done. This is a.
Dean does collabs.
This is a collab, but just quickly, actually, I might get you to try this. So this is a blueberry. So the periscope activity. It's blueberry ghost chili. Let's have a little go.
Brilliant names.
Because sometimes people, I might have to rethink my heat quarters on these.
So going back to what we were saying earlier, while you're just opening it, how do you work your recipes out? Do you look online? Do you just have a little play?
Yeah, so I started out basically, when I came home from that chili festival, I kind of had the whole idea of putting this together. I went online and I looked at loads of different hot sauce recipes. I toyed around with loads of different ones. And then it's almost like being a mad scientist. It's like you just sort of start putting things in and seeing what works and different flavour profiles and, things that go together. And I just kind of hit upon all these. And I wasn't sure about them at first. I mean, I personally, I loved them, but then I wasn't sure what other people were going to make of them because I'd never actually tried anything that was, they're quite different. I think because of the fruit, even though there are hot sauces that had fruit, I don't know, there's something different about these. Anyway, I put the recipes together. They've been tweaked a few times since I started out, but then I'd taken to all these different events that I was doing, and everyone was just going, "Oh my god, they're great! Like they're really good."
Really are.
And I even just sort of looked at my partner. I was just like, "Oh my god, people actually like."
Dean's only known me about a year and a half, 2 years, but he also knows I'm not full of shit. And if I thought they were horrible, I'd probably tell him off camera. But these are fantastic. And I've never tried them before. But cool. It's. Hot sauce sits in the fridge in my house, and barbecue all day long. If you can, honestly, that will go on anything.
We can take that one with you as well. We'll give that one. That's the peach and pear and pineapple.
We'll give that to my wife's dad and watch him squeal.
But it's because events. Sometimes people will come along and they'll try the Exorcist one and they'll just die on the spot, and other people will try it. And
it's not that hot.
No, I don't think it's that hot. But,
I mean, I was doing whiskey tasting for for our YouTube channel yesterday. And the first thing it's not up here. The first thing we had was a rye bourbon. Had an amazing spice to it, heat, but not like hot heat. You just knew it was there. Your tongue was warm for
like a zing.
I don't think I've ever had a whiskey or a spirit that's kind of gone. It smelt spice. It smelt spicy in the nose, but then it was still there. And it's kind of like this. It's
like a zing, yeah.
Yeah, there's a nice hum. I mean,
it resonates with it.
I think maybe if I'd have had that first, I might have had a moan. But no, that's lovely.
See that
chicken
ever so slightly
all day long.
Yeah, in rice and mixes well.
Levi, mate, move over.
He's only got 1. I've got 7.
There you go. See.
So this is this is right. So this is totally different flavour again.
So this is the blueberries one.
This is the blueberry one. Yeah.
Blueberry.
So do you want me to dollop you some on the spoon? Just give it a shake up.
Yeah, you're going to go as Marriage did last time. Probably,
of course.
And where's this on the heat scale?
So
we've had what? This is Texas is 2.6.
Now
exorcist.
Yeah,
I said sauce.
I've only ever judged the heat scale by what I'm putting in it, chili wise. So
what's in that? That's ghost chilies.
So you've got some ghost chili, you've got some Carolina Reaper, you've got habaneros. If you had all those raw, you'd be on the floor. Exactly, you'd be insane. But like I was saying, with the fruit because there's a lot of pineapple and there's a lot of pear in there as well. The sugars from the
I just have visions of me sat on top of a pyramid like Homer talking to a fox.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Some people like that. But this one, going back to the pumpkin podcast, when they do this one, sometimes people seem to think this one's a bit hotter. So okay. I don't know. Let's see, because maybe I'll have to sort of switch my heat scales around a little bit.
Okay.
So I've never sent them off to be lab tested.
So this is a 4, according to you?
This one, according to me.
According to the World of Dean, this is a 4.
Is a 4.
I ordered it to 6. 6 was nice. Little creeping heat. The only thing with hot sauces is they make you easy. I'm asthmatic. They don't just make me. They're not causing like some medical condition. I've already got one.
Just drink more beer, Johnny.
As long as the wife don't watch this, we're fine.
Yeah. Cinnamony.
Just massive blueberry overload. It's beautiful.
Blueberry. Again, it's got the ghost chili that kind of creeps up in you.
Yeah, not as slow as the Jeepers Creepers.
Oh.
No, I'm fine. You seem to be struggling more than I am.
I know.
That's lovely. That's actually softer than that. So you're probably right. That to me would be a 3. Yeah. I think that's closer to that.
Right. Okay.
That one was quite straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could just, I
look
at them. I look at them and think, like I said, that's chicken all day long. Chicken or pork, white meat. That would be fantastic. Leave that covered inside overnight and cook it next day. That would be banging.
Some people have that on ice cream. Oh.
This one, ribs, all day long. Marinate them overnight with half a bottle, and then when you're barbecuing it, mop it with it as well. That will be sticky, gooey, fantastic, amazing. I just love food and barbecuing, so this is just what I'm anyway. So we talked about the horror and we talked about the making.
Yeah.
So what are your plans with your sources going forward? I suppose it's been difficult for everyone in the last year and a bit, but we are starting to come open. We might start to get more conventions. Have we got any conventions or any stuff like that kind of coming up?
I certainly do. Yeah, I've got events.
Killing me. Honestly, chili's just made me a bit wheezy. Lots of things
don't keel over, James.
No, lots of things do. It's fine.
So conventions. So
I'm sure beer makes it better.
Oh yeah, definitely. I see this again. This is why I could see Brew York working well, because they do a lot of fruit-based stuff. I could see the fruity beers working with some of the fruit flavors. Anyway,
so we'll be doing a convention in York soon.
Yes, yeah. I've got a friend who lives in York, and I keep talking to him saying I must come up and go. He goes to Brew York every day.
Yeah, I've been. It's definitely on my list because I said this. I want to go. Well, we all want to get out wandering.
Definitely. But yeah, conventions. I've been waiting for events to start back up again. I started my first ever event was in Sheffield at the Sheffield HorrorCon. That was the first time I ever took these bad boys out. And I remember setting up and thinking, what am I doing here? Like, everyone was kind of like, what's the hot sauce guy doing it? But it went down a storm, and I literally left with like half a box full of stock. Then people just snapped them up, and that's great. And then it just kind of went from there. So I thought after that one, that was my first ever convention or event ever. I hadn't even done any farmers markets or anything like that. So straight from that, I thought, you know what, F it, I'm just gonna jump straight into the deep end, straight into the London Film and Comic Con.
That's a big one.
Which has God knows how many thousands of people pass through their doors. We had this suit.
Where's that based?
Mad. That was at Kensington Olympia, so it's huge.
Yeah, massive.
And it was the summer edition, so all the halls were open. They had like Charlie Sheen, they had Jason Momoa, they had like some huge. It was rammed, and it was when we had that really mad heat wave. So it was sweltering hot, and it was just
So chaos. If you haven't been to Kensington Olympia, it's like a greenhouse.
Yeah, it is literally like
especially the side room.
Yeah. I was lucky because I was in the. You've got the two halls, and there's like a walkway that joins the two halls, and they put a load of traders in there. And I was in that section. It was really good because people had to pass through to get from hall to hall, so there was a lot of traffic going through. And I literally just I couldn't believe how well I'd done by the end of it, my second event. And I was like, do you know what? This works. I'm onto a winner. This definitely works. So what I did for 2020 is I booked up loads of events. I thought I'm going to go full throttle. I'm going to do all the chili festivals. I'm going to do as many Comic Cons as I can. And then 2020 happened.
Yeah, it happened for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was, and that was essentially for me was just year 2. So
we started businesses kind of the same time. So this is we started the Duck in officially August 2019. So it's not been good.
Yeah. So
but we're both still here. We're both still kicking.
Yeah.
We're still selling you beer and sauce.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully things are going in the right direction. Even though I looked at the front of the newspaper this morning, I was like, oh my god!
Just don't read the news.
I try not to.
And on social media, don't read the comments. That's all I tell people.
Oh no, I'd never get involved in any of that crap. It's just I just do my thing, and stay creative, stay positive, and just hope for the best. I've even deleted my BBC News app because I just don't want to know about bad shit. I don't want to know about it.
I used to watch the news religiously every morning. I think I last about 10 minutes and go. Kids can watch what they want.
It's too negative, man. And I know people need to be informed, but sometimes it's just you don't need to know every person that gets stabbed and anyway, we've
got all political then.
Keeping it positive. Events. So basically, events that I've got coming up. So I'm now booked into Touchwood. Everything moving forward goes well. I'm booked back into LFCC. It's actually my first convention. I've got a run of chili festivals, but I'm all over them. In Swindon, Guildford, one in Christchurch, one in Winchester. Doing the LFCC in July, in Kensington Olympia, HorrorCon in September in Sheffield. I'm doing For the Love of Horror. I'll talk about them in a minute because they are awesome. For the Love of Horror in October in Manchester. They also do a sci-fi event in December. I'm doing a BBC Good Food show in November in Birmingham. I've got a Comic-Con in Liverpool, a Comic-Con in Scotland, and there's more. Lots more. I mean, that's loads to be getting. And I'm doing the one in Bennington that we spoke about.
So the Bennington Chili Festival.
So I'm actually, and that is a real achievement for me because that is the one that kind of inspired all of this. And to be able to get a table there, which is really not a stand there, pitch, to get this pitch there was really difficult because the people that run it, they do it for the love, they don't do it for the money. They only had a certain amount of traders and they had their regulars that went every year and you got put on a waiting list. But I've got to the top of that waiting list and I'm there this year, again, touch wood.
I've never been. All these years I've been around here, 12, 13 years. I remember when it used to be free.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Not anymore.
About £8 now, but it's all right. Well, you got an excuse to come now.
Indeed. Free ticket from you, clearly.
Yeah. The only thing about that event is there's too many bloody wasps. But I mean, there's whatever we're gonna do. You get one of those electric wasp swats.
Bennington is in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of halfway between Hertford and Stevenage. It's kind of countryside.
Yeah.
So it's a nice big space.
It's a stately home, isn't it?
It's
really
massive.
Beautiful place. Really beautiful place. So go back to For the Love of Horror is an event. They're run by a company called Monopoly Events, and they're huge. They're literally, I'd say they're nipping at the heels of the massive conventions, MCM and the London Film LFCC Showmasters who run that. They're literally nipping at their heels because these guys are getting the best lineups. Their customer service is amazing. To work with them is amazing. They tick every single box. They're really, really cool. And now their events, they're relatively new as well. So their events are now starting to just sell out. And the caliber of guests that they're getting are incredible. They had the year before, they had almost the entire cast of the Lust Boys just rock up. Kiefer, Alex Winter, who plays from Bill and Ted. The Tim Capello, the sax guy. They didn't have Corey Feldman. He was at one of the other conventions. I've met him, but it was the other Frog brother. Literally, there's almost the whole cast, surviving cast, apart from one or two. But it was that was just one selection of guests. Then they had.
I haven't seen that in years. That's a quality film.
Great film, man. Timeless.
Just superb.
Then they had cast from Saw. They had him there, Jigsaw, Tobin Bell, and Costas Mandylor. Basically, I could rattle off a whole list of names. I won't bore you with. But,
so they're not messing about then. They're serious boys.
Well, this year they've got for a start. Well, they're doing a Rocky Horror picture show reunion, and they've got Tim Curry. I mean, he's very, very unwell. I think he lives in Canada. I'm not sure, but they've got a contract with him. He's flying all the way over to Manchester. Booked a photo op with him. So I'm going to get to meet Tim Curry.
Oh, wow.
Love Tim Curry, obviously original wit as well. And then they've got Meatloaf. Meatloaf's there as well. He was in the Rocky Horror.
He was, yep.
But then they've also got they've got various different. They've got Barry Bostwick who played. I can't remember the names of all the people in Rocky Horror. But basically, they've got a load of them. Magenta. There's another one I remember. But then they've got Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich, who were the two Ghostface killers from Scream. Scream. Yeah, they've got those guys. They've got Wolf Creek, John Jarrett. They've just got loads, man, and it is just selling out. And I'm now doing, so I do this collaboration. I've got this collaboration hot sauce fried Barry. This is a movie that's just come out on Shudder. A guy called Ryan.
Yeah, I've seen this one on your social.
He's actually just left me a message while I was here.
There you go.
You know, so we roll these days.
His ears are burning, that's why.
Yeah. His mouth would be burning if it was in, or not. I don't know. Maybe he might be able to handle it. He's South African / Scouse, so I don't know.
That's a mixture, isn't it?
It really is. But he's a lovely guy. But so basically, with the collaboration hot sauces, I'm working with Monopoly Events to do a collaboration hot sauce as part of their merchandise for this year's For the Love of Horror event. So I'm going to put a sauce together, and I'm going to get some cool artwork that's got a bit of a nod towards a Rocky Horror, a bit of a nod towards Scream. And then the organisers said they're going to whack me in a prime selling spot with all the footfall, and they're going to take it around and get the guests to hold a bottle. I was like, oh man, stop it. So it's just it's moving in the right circles. So it all started from going to that chili festival in Bennington to having Tim Curry hold a bottle of
How far away would it be from being your full-time job?
Well, when events start up again, I think that's kind of what I'm aiming for, because hot sauce isn't at the top of everyone's shopping list. Some people's is, but so internet sales, I know people have been a bit strapped for cash, also internet sales have kind of dipped quite a lot during Corona, but that's fine. From what I learned when I sort of dipped my toe into it before, that was a really good source of income doing it that way. So I think now I've gone full throttle back into events. I'm hoping that it literally just takes off, and then it just goes from one thing to the other. Now I can jump on farmers markets. I'm trying to get in a Greenwich market, and then hopefully I can have a couple of things running at the same time where I can put someone there, and and then get into some shops. That's another thing. I'm looking at international shipping, so I'm trying to get that. I think it just takes time, and I don't want to because I just want to enjoy it, and I'm really enjoying it at the minute.
I think once it gets big, I'm
really enjoying it, and there's so many other little creative endeavors that are kind of offshoots from it as well. Like I'm putting together my own podcast. I've done some little bits of movie bits and pieces.
Some photo shoots as well. I've popped some photos of the photo shoots up, stuff. So you get an idea what I'm talking about. It's basically Dean being killed by a couple of stunning young ladies dressed in the tightest leather you've ever seen. So what's not to like? Oh, and the sauce. Yeah, don't forget some of the sauce.
It was either me or them wearing it. So no one wants to see me wearing that. So,
but no, I'll put some photos up on when I edit it.
It works really well.
It looks brilliant. Yeah. It just works with the whole. Basically, this is what he looks like, if you can see on my line of my webcam. So he's all kind of dressed up like he's dead or like a horror character. So it's it works really, really well. So it kind of ties me in with full-time and future plans, I suppose. It's we spoke about all the conventions we're hopefully going to do this year, and and going forward. So what does Dean and the Dead look like mid 2022?
So I think as the events get more, as I'm doing more events, and as the events get bigger. So for example, there's chili still here. I want to kind of. I won't do that on camera. So as the events get bigger, and there's more of them. So, for example, the BBC Good Food Show, which I'm going to be doing, they normally have 2 a year, but because it's where events are kind of starting off halfway through the year, they normally have a summer and a winter edition. So they're only doing a winter one this year. But for example, that's a 4-day event.
Okay, wow.
At the Birmingham NEC. So you can imagine how many people are going to be passing
that's a big old place as well.
Doors through them 4 days. So what I'm kind of getting at is there ain't going to be no room in my house to create all of this, and my missus is going to be tripping over boxes left, right, and centre. And so one of the main goals for me is to get a premises.
Yeah.
I'd really like to get a unit somewhere where I can, go in and just do what I want with it, put a mezzanine level in, use it as a HQ. There's like a little production hot sauce production factory. But I'm doing sort of chili jams now as well. I'm doing some spice rubs. I'm looking into doing
going whole.
I just want to expand on the arsenal as much as I can. Put some barbecue packs together. I've got someone
Try and get in with some butchers and stuff like that.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. As it all moves along, and as the website sort of tightens all the screws up, and the look and the branding, and then once
how's the website getting on? Because I know you were.
I was having a few.
You were having a few issues the other week.
I was having a few issues, but yeah, no, it's it's totally fine there. Yeah, it's looking great. It's looking really, really good. I'm really pleased with it. There's still a lot of bits and pieces I need to do with it. I get asked from a lot of people in the US when I'm going to be shipping over there. And I'm like,
so that was one of the issues we were talking about, wasn't it? Was international shipping.
Oh man, it's just
the paperwork and bits that come with that as well.
It's ridiculous. And the thing is, it puts people off over there. They want this. Yeah. They're saying, "Oh man, we really want to get a bottle of it. It looks really cool. We really want to try it." But they've got to pay what, I don't know, God knows how many dollars just to get it over there. You know. So I'm looking into like some sort of distribution, but this is all new to me.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it like step by step. And just kind of seeing what happens, seeing where it goes.
That big steep learning curve.
I just want to make sure I enjoy it though. I don't want to ever get to a point where I'm just like, this is doing my head in, and I hate it. I want to enjoy it every step. And so far, I am.
So far, so good.
And the bigger it gets, the more things there are to do, and the more lists I have to make and tick things off. And people are like, "Hello, you're not getting back to me." But that's just all part of it, isn't it? And I don't want to bring in anyone else just yet because it's totally my baby. Yeah. Like, I can do what I want with it. I can be as creative as I want with it. And no one's going to say, well, you know, I don't want just you on the bottle. I want a picture of me on the get out of it. So at the minute, it's totally my baby, and I'm really having fun with it. But yeah, premises, I'd love to get a premises. That'd be a really big achievement. Getting events and you know, getting out there live and selling it all up and down the country was the greatest promotion. Just being out there chatting to people and, you know, getting them to try it and building customer relationships and stuff was really important. And I love it. I'm a musician. I love getting out there and playing for people. I love playing on the stage. It's almost like being on the stage. I've
been bothering Dean all week about the microphone setup and the amp setup and why aren't the headphones working. So yeah,
and I'm useless. That kind of stuff.
If it wasn't for you today, we wouldn't have the headphones today if it wasn't for you, mate. So, you know, don't sell yourself.
We got there.
And we've had beer and sauce and it's midday. So, you know, we've not had a bad start to the day.
We're definitely winning. But yeah, I guess that, and I think then the ultimate goal is to sort of get it into. People might go, "You're selling out." I don't care if it makes me loads of money. I really don't care.
Selling out what? Selling the product that you make to make a living.
Exactly right.
Shock horror.
Exactly. Yeah. So ultimately,
I mean, we had the same issue recently with Cloudwater and Vault City and a few others going into supermarkets.
Beer, yeah.
They've had no sales for a year. What are they supposed to do? Go out of business? Oh, we miss Cloudwater. If only they'd gone into supermarkets. Well, they did, and they're still here.
Yeah, and they still make great beers. So yeah. I don't care when people go down that whole selling out route. It's like, dude, you know, I'd rather have some money in my pocket and keep churning.
I was speaking to a financial advisor in the week, and he's kind of like, "Where do you want to be in 20 years?" I'm like, "I kind of want 5 to 10 crafty ducks, and I want someone to come and buy them for like £5 million."
Yeah,
I can sell off to the Bahamas. You know, it might be a wish list, but yes, I will sell out one day.
I think, do you know what I mean? I think if you will it, it'll happen. It's just doing it, isn't it? And all of this is self-funded. There's only so far I can go. Just because finances allow. Once events start again, that will bring in.
Well, yeah, kitchen equipment and machinery is not cheap. I mean, from a public pub point of view, I know that for a fact. And yeah, premises aren't cheap. So it's a massive ask.
There's quite a lot of outlay. I say I try and keep it down, but you know, obviously you've got your cost of your bottles, you've got your cost of your labels, you've got your cost of your graphics guy, you've got your cost of the fruit isn't cheap, you've got your cost of, do you know what I mean? The chilies aren't cheap. So you have to it's taken me a while to get all of that right.
How much would a sauce cost me online?
That is
at deanofthedead.co.uk?
Yes.
There you go.
.com.
.com. Oh, he's posh than me.
I do. Yeah.
I've only got a .co.uk.
I've got .co.uk.
It's only because I can't send beer abroad, basically. So deanofthedead.com, you can go on and buy these sauces.
That's a £5 that one.
It's a bargain.
£5.
I'm not giving him a £5 for it.
I know it's.
He's had a beer, that'll do.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, no, these are on the house, man. Of course. I don't know what I'm trying to say. If you bought a barbecue sauce from a bigger chain, you're going to pay less. But these are artisan. You know, you can go and buy a can of Foster's for I don't know, whatever. But then you can buy a much nicer tasting craft beer.
But I think the people that are buying these sauces, you know, don't expect to pay a couple of quid for it. I mean, it's made by you. You know, like you said, there's a lot of effort gone into this, and yeah, I wouldn't bat an eyelid at that. And like you said, you go to conventions and do these bits, and you sell out really quickly. So clearly, you've got a niche market that people like, and you know, I wish you all the best of luck. We're going to talk a bit about beer, but I think we kind of already have, and mine's run out.
Mine too. It's a tiny bit. Can you hear that?
I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the minute.
That's kind of it. And that's where we are with Dean. We've kind of covered his sources and stuff. We hope you've enjoyed this. It's our first. I use Dean because I know him and he was an easy person to interview. But I also like the topic, and I also like his sources, and we like his beer. We like beer. So yeah, thanks for watching our first podcast, blog, vlog. I'm not quite sure what this is, stream. And we're going to keep doing these. It might not be always with Dean. It might well be, because he's quite easy to get on with. He lives quite local, and I can bribe him with beer. So thanks for watching. Dean, thanks for coming, mate.
Thanks for having me, James.
You're welcome.
Love it. Thank you.